but you about to trample all over me, sacks and all that. Nah, sprinkle me in the ocean.
All right. Big, yeah, some deep sea fishing. You catch a big marlin. Toss you out there,
man, bury me a butt. I'm serious.
All right, well, there we go. We got two non-sports venue answers, so.
Quarterback is literally the most important position.
I understand
But he's not sold on Russ, so why aren't you sold on Russ? Tell me that. Last 2 years?
Is it because of Pete Carroll?
I mean, it hasn't been.
He got us thinking DK really that dude.
Russ has not looked like himself.
I think he
for the last
relied
3
more on that Legion of Boom defense, and then he's going to do the same thing here in Denver.
Course.
What has he done with what Tyler Lockett? Like, I mean, what has he really done
People
to
know Tyler
solidify
Lockett
himself?
is because of us.
I'm not sold on, man. I mean, y'all want to go high on
He
Russ?
made the playoffs his first 8 years in a row. He won, 10 games a season every year for the first 7 seasons or something, like things that nobody's ever done. Welcome to another edition of That's Debatable. It is Tuesday, December 6th, 2022. Ryan Dietrich here with my guys, Jeremiah Bays and Will Ward. And behind the desk, as always, our man AD, holding it down. We got good news in Buckeye country.
Yay.
They are in the playoffs. Number 4, Ohio State. The selection show was Sunday. Buckeye sneak in at number 4. The bad news is we got to play number 1, Georgia. But hey, as they say at the poker table, all you need is a chip and a chair. So we got a shot, we got a prayer. I'll have to check the line. I think Georgia's about a 6-7 point favorite. There we go, 6.5, says my producer. So Buckeyes are going to have their hands full, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
And, we'll start it off. Georgia number 1, Michigan number 2, TCU number 3 after going down to my former school, Kansas State. And those kitty cats right there, the nice little graphic. As you can see, the 4 QBs. So Michigan, TCU, Georgia, Ohio State. I was kind of surprised. I thought Ohio State would have been number 3, TCU at number 4. And you can see it there. It would have been Ohio State, Michigan on New Year's Eve day. But selection committee had a little different in the cards. I guess they want to see if Ohio State can earn it. I thought we should have got Ohio State, Michigan. The view, that would have been nuts. The viewership would have been wild. That would have been a hell of a game. And, back to back, that would have been a first for the rivalry, I believe.
Definitely.
So tell me about it, guys. What are your thoughts on it? How you feel? We got number 4. You happy we got a shot? Should be.
Yeah, in the words of my man Meek Mill, ain't this what you've been waiting for? Hope you ready for real, man, because we know Georgia ain't going to come in and lay down, and hopefully we get the Toledo Rocket game that Ohio State played. You know, that type of caliber of team, that's too much to ask for because we know that Georgia is the best team, you know, per se, because of rankings in the nation. But as long as we get our guys back and they come back healthy, mainly the run game with Mayan Williams and Travion Henderson, I think that's the thing that matters the most. And C.J. Stroud just has to be ready to actually throw the ball downfield and not be afraid to make mistakes. You don't want to make too many, but be aggressive and come out firing because you don't have a chance to get down. It's one shot. You got to go ahead and get the money when you got the chance.
I just need this. Ice in veins. That's all I want to see. You know when D-Lo shoot the bucket and he do this? Ice in his veins. That's all I want to see from C.J. Stroud and from Ryan Day. And from, what's the D coordinator?
Jim Knowles.
Jim Knowles. Them three are the key. I need defense, Chambers, stop getting beat, stop arm tackling, wrap everybody up. I just need ice in veins. Play hungry, go out there and act like we've been the number one team or at least number two team all season. Now this is what I've been waiting for. I definitely do not like how we got here, but I will accept it because the last time we kind of, it didn't come. We are 4-1 against the decision to get in. So when it comes to everybody else and us and who got to decide, it looks like we're favored. And the very first time we was favored, we ended up, it was kind of a similar situation. Came down to TCU losing. But this time they got in. We got in too. And hopefully we got the top sec team just like then. Hopefully, we could tap Mayan and Travion could tap into their inner Zeke and run. I was just watching the 12 gauge highlights. He was throwing the ball, deep ball pretty. So hopefully we could just connect, go out there. We ain't got nothing to lose for real. They're already counting us out. I'm not counting us out, but I'm not counting us in until I see a dub.
Yeah, I think they still got to get a lot of pressure, mainly JTT, because on that last game, he was kind of absent. 4 tackles total in a huge game like that.
Yep,
you got to show up, man.
What game was that? He went crazy. Was that the
Maryland game? Penn State game.
Yeah, I need to see that JT Tua Mololau, however you say his name.
Tui Mololau.
Yep, he was absent. That's a good call, Will. The good thing is we've got 35 days to prepare. About 25 days, a little over 3 weeks. Should make some time to make some adjustments. You got plenty of film to study. The bad news is, Georgia and Stetson Bennett has been playing very well. He can throw the deep ball. We just got cooked by the deep ball. Yeah. So that's what I expect to see, some preparation for that because he can do it better than J.J. McCarthy did. And then, like you said, having some healthy running backs, will help the Buckeyes. They've got a tall task ahead of them, like we've said. So, exciting, though. We got a shot.
Yeah, I just got to see if we could just try to slow down the run, just match their physicality, and they got them 2 amazing tight ends over there. Just don't let them go off too crazy.
And that's been
we always get beat deep every week, so they're going to probably get 1 or 2 deep shots. Let's just be able to answer whatever bell they try to ring, and then maybe we could come out on top.
You mentioned physicality. Just a real quick that's been one of the criticisms of the Buckeyes team. It's not that physical, can't really match up. Last year coming out of that Michigan game in the snow, they said this team was kind of soft.
Yeah.
Didn't bring that physicality. So a tough-ass Georgia team. We'll see if the Buckeyes can answer that call and shut down the criticism, which has been with them all season.
Yeah, got to tap back into them horseshoe Buckeyes that's made of steel, not the safe light stuff that's made of, glass.
Let's talk about the other ones.
Right.
Team up north and TCU. Michigan looks like a big favorite, but, man, you cannot count out those Horned Frogs.
What's dude's name?
Duggan, Max Duggan.
Yep,
Heisman finalist. Played his ass off. Yeah. That final drive against K-State was great. That was a hell of a game.
Great game.
And it just cranked me up, for the college football bowl season. It's the most wonderful time of year, man. It is my favorite season. It stems all the way from like middle school, getting into college football bowl pick'ems as a kid, pick all 25 games, 30, whatever they are. So it's something that I love to do. Me and my buddy Casey always used to run the pool in high school. And so I just posted that on my Facebook account. I created a That's Debatable Capital One Bowl Mania Bowl Pick'em. So join the That's Debatable group. We'll have a big contest. See who thinks they know the most about college football. Of course, this Will, the hot man. He's been hot in the NFL. We'll get to that in a little bit on Week 13. A couple bowl games I want to highlight. I mentioned my K-State Wildcats. They're going to have their hands full New Year's Eve day with the Alabama Crimson Tide. And that's a good Saturday. Wildcats, Alabama at noon. Ohio State, Georgia at 8 o'clock that night. Any other ones you guys pointed out? I highlighted Notre Dame and South Carolina for you. I know you've been tuned into Spencer Rattler lately. Him and them Notre Dame Fighting Irish should be a pretty good game, I think. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, Friday the 30th.
Oh yeah, Friday the 30th. Yeah, I'm definitely tuned into that. Spence is he's definitely gonna ball out. You know,
and a bunch of Ohio teams in it, actually.
And that's actually gonna be a tough matchup. 19 versus 21.
Yep.
You know, Notre Dame might gain back a little bit of respect into their season the way they did, beating Clemson. They did lose to USC, I believe, but that Clemson win was huge. So, which I am kind of excited for that game because Spence has been balling, you know, a lot these past few weeks. But you know, I highlighted they fell out of the top 25, them Tar Heels. North Carolina versus Oregon, that should be a good one. Probably most likely a shootout. Bo Nix, I think this is his last run maybe, you know, before he entered the draft. So
Probably.
Yeah, so it should be a good one right there. And, of course, Jackson State.
I was waiting for my turn to say it, man.
Oh, my fault. That's definitely at the top of the list.
I don't know if he can even coach for the team
anymore. He should be able to when I just seen the video of him talking to the Colorado
He's coaching
team.
For Jackson State.
Yeah, he coached. Yep. I know he just coached the championship game.
Yep.
He should coach him that last time in that bowl game, but he already got making moves in Colorado. So
dude, that's going to be cool. I'm excited for Prime in Colorado. Obviously I grew up pretty close to Boulder. Used to go over there and catch Nebraska CU games. Boulder's a good town. It's a good school. It reminds me of Eric Bieniemy. You know, right. He was running back there in the late '80s. Like, just some of that swagger. Prime might be a good fit in Boulder, man. It's cool to see. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But, yeah, he's got that test ahead of him. Jackson State versus North Carolina Central in the Cricket Celebration Bowl. Yeah. All right, there you go. And I will mention Miami of Ohio versus UAB to kick it all off. Friday, December 16th. A bunch of Ohio teams in there. Toledo snuck in.
MAC champions Toledo.
There you go. Roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl.
Baller.
Who else we
he
got?
Definitely did a number on us, even though they lost.
I thought I saw another one. Oh, Ohio and Wyoming in the Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl. So, and Bowling Green, they got in there too. So, a handful of schools from Ohio. As we always talk about, you know, the pipeline of football is where it starts. So, I'm excited for bowl season again. Jump on my Facebook page. That's Debatable, Capital One Bowl Mania group. Get in it, and let's go at it. Keeping it college and keeping it here in Ohio, we're going to talk about them Lady Buckeyes. Lady Bucks, Ohio State women's basketball. They are rolling. Number 3 in the country, 8-0. They've taken care of Tennessee and Louisville, 2 top 15 teams. They have got a nasty full-court press that they like to run the entire game. And if you'd like more about Ohio women's basketball, you can catch Girls Only on the Yamo Media Network, usually Wednesday nights, but they were just before us here on Tuesday. It's a lot of good information coming from those girls, but it's good to see the Ohio State women's basketball kicking ass. I enjoyed watching them last year in the tourney. There we go. Girls Only on Yamo Media. That was just now. They were right before us. So if you're curious, you can go back and watch that episode on Yamo Media. Like I said, I enjoyed watching the Lady Buckeyes last season in the tournament. They made the Sweet 16. They got some good players back, a couple of seniors, some experience. So the Lady Buckeyes are definitely something to tune into. Number 3 in the nation, 8-0. So if you have the chance, get down to the Schottenstein Center and check them out. Good quick update. Always got to plug the Lady Buckeyes as we're just getting into the college basketball season. And the Buckeye men got Rutgers on Thursday. And I believe that's here in town. And the men are ranked number 25, I believe.
I just watched them get taxed by Duke. Or did they come back and fight?
They lost to Duke by 9.
Or they fought in the second half?
At
halftime, it kind of got ugly.
They were down at one point, I think, 16, 17, something like that. A fairly close game. Buckeyes showed some resolve. They're coming around, though. They're going to have a good team by the time we get to conference play. And they've faced some tough tests so far, and they've showed up pretty well. So keep an eye on the Ohio State men's and women's basketball teams, both top 25 here in Columbus. All right, dudes, you guys ready to do it?
Let's rock.
Do you want to do? Should we start with it?
Hey, man, you run the show, man. We
Joe,
just
all right, we're gonna do it since I was very impressed with the Bengals in their Week 13 win.
Were you not entertained?
I didn't watch it, unfortunately.
I understand.
You rocking those stripes, man. You just look fly as always.
A little dapper, you know.
Dude,
Waiting to pull this out, waiting for a big win, and I figured, hey, it's no better time than the present. But when one game ends, got another one that begins. But on to Week 13, man.
Dude, yeah, I was very impressed. I lost some money on it, man.
Always sorry to hear that.
Always bet the Chiefs. You ain't sorry to hear that. And that, me not liking the Chiefs, I was like, shit, they're gonna take care of them. There's no way Bengals Burrow can go 3-0 against Patty Mac.
Nah,
but
at this point,
sure
we can
enough,
say
dude,
they own the Chiefs.
3-0 Joe Burrow and the Bengals are against Patrick Mahomes. They look good. Samaje Perine, start him. Well, and see, that's the problem. I don't know. Joe Mixon's playing. I'm dumb and haven't started Samaje Perine in my fantasy leagues, and it's killing me.
Yeah, the addition of Jamar Chase, he helped out. Always T. Higgins, as when Jamar was down, T. Higgins did great. Tyler Boyd, he filled in. The whole entire cast, if you can say full production, that was exactly what Cincinnati did. The defense stepped in and shut down Mahomes, didn't allow Kelsey to even get a catch into the second half. So for them to come out and make that statement, they really put the awareness on the whole entire NFL that, hey, Cincinnati's back, and it don't matter who they bring in there, hey, we're going to step up and play. So one thing that they got to continue to do, and we're going to see it coming up this week in the Battle of Ohio again, they got to continue just to play hard. You get Deshaun Watson, who looked trash in his last game in Houston.
Real bad.
So
This first game is 700 days, though, man.
Hey, man, you had plenty of time to practice. We know you was loose and all lubed and feeling great. So there's no excuses, man.
Hey, he looked like he was playing tight.
He did. Hey, one interesting note I heard on that. The Browns-Houston Texans game, I caught this on 97.1 The Fan today. Rothman and Ice, they brought it up. If you watch the game, it was constant boos from the Houston Texans crowd. Right. They were piping in that noise. That was piped in sound effects of boos from the Houston Texans stadium. That wasn't actual boos from the crowd. I thought that was interesting.
Home field advantage. You got to do what you got to do to win. But the one thing that we're going to move on to the Cleveland and Houston game, that offense didn't do anything. Nick Chubb barely even showed up in that game, but that defense stood stout. You had special teams. Yep. You know, when your offense isn't doing anything, then you hope for the other two factors of your game to stand up, and that's what the Browns did. I mean, it was a lonely one win, the Houston Texans, but a win is a win.
Man, that's right. Other notes, Philadelphia's looking good. I was impressed. It looked like they was on a mission. On sad news,
praying on a downfall, didn't happen.
Jimmy G, no, it's Brock Purdy season, I guess.
Oh man,
dude, Niners took a tough one. Jimmy G down. They say he doesn't need surgery. Like, could be back for the playoffs, but
he broke his foot. Right,
7 to 8 weeks, no surgery needed.
So I don't know what. Hey man,
it's slow.
Defense wins championships, right?
That's true. But Brock Purdy. Yeah. I mean, they give him more respect than Kirk, so man, y'all might have a shot. Y'all still got, Debo, Christian, George Kittle. Got
that's the thing. They got one of the best rosters around. That defense is dirty.
Ayuk. Yep. I mean, y'all got dogs all over the field. Trent Richardson. Like y'all got everything.
Next man up, no excuses to get it done.
Even if it is Mr. Irrelevant, first Mr. Irrelevant to ever throw a touchdown pass. By the way.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Because most of those guys don't make it.
That's sweet. that's holla. Give me a Brock Purdy jersey.
Hey, Purdy could be that guy.
Let's see. Packers came back in a nice fourth quarter comeback. Christian Watson's looking good. AD, you had that note. He's got, 15 catches,
he's looking like the third best receiver in the North right now.
In the last 4 weeks. Dude looks good. Speaking of wide receivers, Devontae Adams slowly and kind of quietly just having a hell of a season. Kind of came out of nowhere. Well, it was just a slow start for DA.
Well, he had consistent numbers all year. They've been ramping it up a little bit.
All right, yes, sir. Mr. Adam Dell.
Yeah, so just talking a little bit about Devontae Adams and Christian Watson. So Christian Watson has done something that one other receiver in the history of the NFL has done.
Randy Moss.
That's Mr. Randy Moss.
Yep.
And credit to Randy Moss, greatest receiver who's ever played the game, in my opinion.
I'm with you there, buddy.
Yeah. Jefferson, best player in the league, or best receiver in the league right now. Sorry, Will. He's got him by a hair. And it's the injury thing, too. But
It's not even close. But.
give Christian Watson a year or two. Let him figure out this game. The skill set and talent level of this kid is insane. 15 catches, 8 touchdowns. So for every 2 catches, and they're not like little 5-yard dink and dunks.
That's bombs.
He is turning them out for like 60, 70, 50-yard touchdown runs. Jordan Love last week, who did he find right away? Christian Watson on a drag, boom, 60-yard touchdown. This kid is going to be a stud. I was saying it before the preseason. He had all the intangibles. He runs like Terrell Pryor. If you guys remember him, it looked like he was jogging and everybody else was running. He's got that same stride. Christian and Martha, I'm going to clip the shit out of this video and put it out for the next year or so. Christian Watson next year is going to be MVP level receiver.
I remember you saying at the beginning of the season, watch out for Christian Watson. So I'll give you credit on that one. And it's definitely seeming like you might be on to something.
Yeah,
there,
just
AD.
took a little long for him to get going, but
He's the 3rd best receiver in the North.
who's the other one? Amon-Ra's a stud, man.
Yeah.
Of course, it's then
Christian Watson's coming around. I
I'll
like
give you
that.
that.
I got a text from my aunt the other day that was like, Christian Watson's 6'5", 207. She's like, how big are you? I was like, yeah, technically I'm like 6'4", 210, but a little similar, but different, but, not the same.
Yeah, you need speed.
Yup. All right. Speaking of my 49ers and Jimmy G going down against the Dolphins, they get the big dub 33-17, but we lose Jimmy, so it's kind of a win-lose. Denver, Baltimore, gross. Disgusting.
Oh my God. And partial MCL tear out 2 to 3 weeks.
Break. And man, in my one league, I'm dominating. I got no backup quarterback for Lamar Jackson, though, and we're coming into the finals. So I'm sweating a little bit. So Lamar, as Harbaugh says, he might be back in a few days or in a few weeks, and then after that it might be some time. So do what you will with that. Hopefully sooner than later. But my goodness, 10-9 to the Broncos.
Horrible.
Gross.
I mean, and then for the Broncos to have a lead all the way the entire game. I mean, a lead is a lead, but to be up 9-3 and not be able to score at all. I mean, I don't know what's going on with that offense, but I got to see somebody's going to be on the hot seat here soon.
It's going to be the coach.
I mean, for sure.
Yep.
Dude's contract kick in next year, so it's not going to be him.
A backup quarterback who wasn't expecting to see any time. I mean, I guess you can say the same thing about Purdy, and he stepped in and did fabulous. But it's something about that Broncos team to where it's just everything is on fire right now.
Yep.
And it's not getting any better.
You know why it's on fire?
Off the rails.
Russ is cooking and he burned everything down?
Exactly. Remember the phrase, let Russ cook? Yep. Every time they let Russ cook, what happened?
It's 4-alarm blaze.
That's when the Seahawks start losing a little bit. The
Burns
Seahawks
the
used to start off hot, and then they fold because turnover rust happens. And then they try to recover towards the end of the season. Then that's when, everybody on social media, let Russ cook. Yeah. You can't let that man cook. And right now he ain't running around creating magic like he normally do. Nope. He's not a standstill quarterback. He can't see over the big lineman anyway. And he didn't build any chemistry with his receivers this year. You could tell. It looks like it.
After paying him all that money, is it him the problem or is it the team that's around him is the problem?
It's the coach. Because they picked that coach thinking they would probably get Rodgers, and it was a fail. Russ was a backup plan. And he doesn't fit whatever scheme. Like, it doesn't work. The type of offense that, what's dude's name?
Hackett.
Yeah, Hackett wants to run. Russ doesn't fit that mold. And if you want the best out of Russ, you better change that offense ASAP. That's really what it is. Because right now, it's too early in his contract. He's putting on a trash display of quarterbacking, and he costs too much, so he's not going to be trade worthy. You're not going to get nothing for him. It's going to be the coach.
Was that a comment from Manning? What'd that say? Russ what, Denver? Russ fleeced him. Ooh. Yeah, shit, maybe.
I don't. Except he didn't run off on a plug.
I want to see next year, this is a write-off for the Broncos. Hackett's just way in over his head. New ownership, yeah, there's a lot of mix going on at the top, and that hasn't translated well down and trickled down, as it were. I gotta see some stuff next year and see what they can put together in the offseason. It's tough to coach in the NFL, especially brand new coming in. Hackett might just be in over his head with some new tools, trying to do some new things. So, no, don't write off Russ is washed or outcooked himself or whatever.
It's not much
they got a talented roster, and he's got some dudes. And if they can just get comfortable and the timing right and the system down and maybe just make things more simple, maybe they can get things cooking. But
yeah, the only thing Russ cooking like gas station food right
now. I want
to
see some stuff. Hey, man, some gas station food is
yeah,
dynamite.
some gas station food is banging, bro.
Yeah, just not in Denver right now.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Yeah.
All right.
Gotta
Enough
go
of the bad teams.
Gas stop. The
Cowboy
Vikings won again.
Yep.
Just what they usually do.
What were you saying about the Cowboys?
Dude, that was a close one, though. Jets and Mike White
That
is true with the Vikings. A lot of one-score games, but they edge them out. Dallas Cowboys turned it on the Indianapolis Colts. It was close at one point. A few big plays in that fourth quarter really made it lopsided. Bills take care of New England on Thursday night. That was a boring-ass game. Last night was also boring until about the last 4 minutes, and still then it was kind of whant. Just bad football. Nobody making great plays. A lot of mistakes, penalties. Tired of watching Tom Brady and the Saints in prime time. Get it out of here.
Yeah, that's not even a marquee game.
Nope.
I don't even. What is the last week Monday night game? I think the Monday night games and the Thursday night games have been trash.
It's been up and down, hit and miss. But that puts a stamp in week 13 for me.
What we got?
Get it out.
Kenny Pickett keeps on winning. What?
Yep.
Come on, man.
Pittsburgh getting legit. What?
Hey, man.
What? T.J. Watt's back.
Yep.
I mean, hey, man.
It is always a good thing as teams need to finish the season well. That really translates into next season a lot. Even if you're in the middle of the pack, like not making the playoffs, Steelers getting some wins, full-time practice.
Washington,
even Deshaun Watson,
the Giants tie.
He's getting game speed practice, even if they don't make the playoffs. It's important. So, who balled out? Who did that thing? Is what we're going to do. Week 13, Ballers of the Week. I'm going to drop it off first. What, you got something?
I was about to just throw one up there, but go ahead. You're done.
Yep, I'm going to start it off first because I was impressed with this man. Says, you're going to trade me away on draft day? Get out of here.
Yeah.
And then they're going to come into my house, and I'm going to put it on them. A.J. Brown, wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles. Got it done. Philadelphia looked electric. 8 catches, 119. That big old one for 40, man. He made some sweet, nasty grabs. 2 TDs. Dude gets it done. And it was that thing. That was a big, big trade on draft day. And the Philadelphia Eagles made a great selection. Adding him to it, he pairs well with Jalen Hurts. He's got that attitude. He fits in well with Philly.
Yeah, definitely.
He looks good. He's top 5 wide receiver in the right position. Big body, fast. He can take a beating. He's got hands. He does it all. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts is not without commendation there. Man, if he's on your fantasy team, you're in a good mood.
A.J. Brown making it look too easy.
He does.
It was one play where they called pass interference. Then the very next play, they go right back to him. And he literally rolls over to save the cornerback and goes in for another touchdown.
Yep.
Might have been that.
Nah, the touchdown I'm talking about, he literally backpedaled and there was nobody around.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
bad man.
I mean, you pick which touchdown you talking about. He was just their
That's
connection
the
right
one where
now
he
is like
monstered dude.
AT&T.
Yeah, they almost looking like Kirk and JJ.
Next. Come on, Dale.
Just keep it in a beam. They find the end zone a little more. I'll give you
That's
that.
the guy that you need to be worried about. 25 for 31, 286. Looks nearly a perfect, nearly a perfect QBR. Yeah, he's trying to point out the Bengals fan only, but hey, who they, man? Because a lot of people put him a lot of respect on Joe B's name, Shiesty, whoever you want to call him, Joe.
Rightfully
Cool.
so.
He's doing it in big games against big-time opponents, not like the Jets, not like the Lions, the Packers, the Bears. Oh, my.
What about the Bills?
Hey.
We'll see what he does. Y'all
Got to
him in a couple
continue
weeks.
to play. That's a Super Bowl quarterback right there. It's proven fact. So,
Super Bowl.
Hey, the man is still rolling. Like I said, Jamar Chase is back. You got Boyd over there. We're going to get Joe Mixon back. It's only going to get better from here, man.
Tommy was throwing some tantrums, man.
Tom is every week going to break an iPad. Every week, cussing somebody
It's kind
out.
of fun to watch him just pout, moan, and cry.
Big cuss words on national TV.
Hey,
All
man.
right, fire in the hole, Jer.
All right, man. You know, I had to go with fellow NFC North baller, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sun God. 11 receptions, 114 yards, 10. He averaged 10 yards per catch. 15 was his long and 2 touchdowns. Man, he's been a saint for them. It's almost like, you know, you look up and him and Jared Goff actually has a beautiful connection, and Amon-Ra's only getting better each and every week. Hopefully, I'm giving him his kudos this week because they do play the Vikings next week. But so this week, definitely shout out to Amon-Ra. Very consistent on your fantasy leagues. Dog, he's a dog and he's a rising star.
He's awesome.
You mentioned Minnesota having Detroit coming up this week.
Yep.
Upset alert.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Vegas picked him too, but
That'll be one of your nice Week 14 preview picks.
he always picks against us.
Other shout-outs.
Actually didn't last week.
Jalen Hurts.
Shocker.
He was one of my shout-outs.
Oh yeah. Shout out Anthony Davis.
Oh, yeah, there you
He
go.
was almost my baller of the week for the stuff he's doing in the NBA right now. It's crazy.
There's one else I was going to think. Man, shit, Cleveland Browns, their defense in your fantasy league, they balled out, throwing around 30 points. It makes a big difference.
Any defense versus the Houston's offense is going to get you in a lot of points. Usually.
Dallas defense was looking amazing in the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah, he iced through 2 picks in the fourth. Yeah.
That defense is so good. It might have Dallas maybe top 5, top 3. I wonder where that Dallas defense is ranked.
1.
I think we should find out. So we're going to go to our guy Will Ward for Will Ward's NFL top 10 power NFL rankings, whatever you want to call it. The muscle shirt, the tiger stripes.
Hey,
Earn your stripes, man. Got to earn your stripes.
better earn the stripes, man.
Tigers
One
getting
game at
out
a
the
time.
cage.
So at number 10, came in, thought about some things. This defense looked pretty good. It came with a couple of bumps and bruises. My man Jared would definitely have some opposition, what I'm about to say, but the Jets look really good on Sunday. So that's why I put him at number 10. They were unranked last week, but that offense under Mike White, Rise guy Mike White, they were just 1-6 inside of the red zone in that game. Ooh. And it came down to just a few possessions. If it was a couple more, like I believe they did score one, but it got dropped right there in the red zone.
They had 2 chances.
But, they did have a couple chances, but they let them off the hook. So up next, they do have the Bills in Buffalo. They got the Lions at home, and then they got the Jags at home. So they may be able to continue to keep scraping, maybe get that last seed in the playoffs. And a lot of teams don't want to see the Jets because of that defense. Sauce Gardner, a couple of those guys up front. The New York Jets should be taken a little bit serious, but because of that quarterback situation, I don't think, it's going to be as bad as it could be. But moving on, at number 9, I got this team that just lost their starting quarterback. You got Tyler Huntley. Like I said, Lamar Jackson is out for about 1 to 3 weeks. He has a sprained PCL that's in the knees, just in case anybody's not a doctor like all of us. But up next, they got the Squillers coming up. They got the Browns. So, 2 AFC North matchups. And then they have the Falcons. So around that time, maybe you'll see Lamar come back, or they may try to hold him out into the playoffs if they continue to keep rolling and can make the playoffs. But because they have been struggling, they didn't get any points until the final 40 seconds of the game. They've been losing games a lot in the fourth quarter. That's why they're starting to move out of the top 10. So keep a watch out for the Ravens, see what happens. If they can beat the Steelers, then maybe Tyler Huntley did a good job. So at number 8, I got the team that lost to the San Francisco 49ers, Tua and the Miami Dolphins. It was just not enough from a defense that was stout, and finally we seen what happens when Tua runs up against a buzzsaw. He couldn't really get the ball to heal how he wanted to, and I thought they would be able to do a lot more with Jimmy G going out, but we see that offense or defense of the 49ers were just good enough that day, only allowing them to get 17 points. But up next, they got the Chargers coming up. They got the Bills in Buffalo, and then they have Green Bay at home. So they have to continue to Mr. Dale wants to chime in. Go ahead, Mr. Dale.
Oh, I was going to let you do it, but anyway. So, did you guys see the Mike McDaniels wanting to do a clock? You guys need to hear this. Clock.
Gotta hurry.
Gotta hurry up.
Everybody's got to run.
Gotta get back and try to spike it, and they do.
Nice.
Sorry, that was great. I had to put it in.
No, I did see that. I watched that like 5 times in a row.
He was clucking.
I thought it was a club.
It was great.
Cluck. What the? It didn't matter. They still got the loss. So, like I said, up next they got the Chargers. Chargers at 6-6 right now. So, this is their second of their 3 away games, and we'll see what happens with the rest of this Miami Dolphins team. Keep going on. I got the Buffalo Bills. I'm not impressed with the Bills. A lot of people are really putting the Bills high, but they they did well against New England Patriots. That was a win that they needed. Actually, they hadn't beaten the NFC or AFC East opponent this season, and they finally got over the hump. Up next, they got the Jets, another AFC East opponent. They got the Dolphins, another AFC East opponent. And then they got the Bears. So we'll see if they can start moving and start shaking and feeling like what everybody else is putting that offense and defense and saying they're possibly on their way to the Super Bowl. They still may get Von Miller back and a couple of other pieces of that defense, so maybe that'll help them out. But right now, I'm not really sold on that team. Then up next, got my man Rye's team, and I have to drop him back a little bit just because of the fact that they did lose their starting quarterback in Jimmy G. But they may be able to continue to skate by with Purdy. Brock Purdy seemed like he was not Mr. Irrelevant at that point and came in and stood strong and prevailed those guys to a win. They have a slightly, mediocre schedule. They got Tampa Bay coming up. Seeing how Tampa Bay just got a win last night. They got the Seahawks coming up, and then they have the Commanders. They may have Ohio State's own Mr. Chase coming back. Chase Young should be back around that time possibly. So we have to keep a lookout to see if he's going to get enough pressure on them. The Seahawks is maybe a tough task for him, but I think they may have enough on the defensive side to keep those guys rolling. And that's what I'm going to do myself is keep on rolling. At number 5, at the middle of the pack, I think these guys may be able to move up and down easily, but at number 5, I got KC. We seen what happened. Like I said, Cincinnati shut Kelsey down. That's one of the Patrick Mahomes' main targets. They have a pretty much favorable schedule, a real easy schedule for them, so they should be able to bounce back after this. They're going into Russ's Kitchen coming up next. Going to the Broncos, they have to go to Houston, and then they have to get to come home and play against Seattle. So up next, they should be able to bounce back and pretty much still stay at the top of that AFC. But it won't be easy, seeing how I think Cincinnati has a recipe for them, and a lot of teams may try to take some of those same ingredients and do the same thing.
That's tough.
Number 4, got the team themselves. Cincinnati. Put them there because finally we're starting to see they are rolling. Like I said, you get Jamar Chase back. We got Higgins back. Mr. 4th straight win, 286 yards by Joe, 106 yards by P. Ryan. And I'm excited to get Joe Mixon back, but I've liked what I've been seeing out of P. Ryan. I like what I've seen out of Pruitt, on that defensive side. Logan Wilson, Eli Apple didn't allow any passes on his side finally. Von Bell was real stout out in that secondary. I do believe they may have lost Jesse Bates for a little bit, but that interior defense is really holding strong. B.J. Hill and a lot of those guys are really starting to put on for that team. But I think people are taking them serious, saying maybe they can make a roll to the Super Bowl again. That's just my opinion, and theirs too. But I think they're starting to finally show it. Up next, they do have the Browns, who Joe B has struggled against, 0-3. They got the Buccaneers coming up, and then the Patriots. This schedule isn't easy down the stretch, but if they continue to play the way they played, they may be able to move into the top 3, 4, who knows. At number 3, I'm pretty sure Jared's been wondering where I put those Minnesota Vikings.
I guessed it.
You guessed there's going to be at 3. I mean, anyway, we're going to be at number 2 or number 1. But they have been playing well. Amazingly, they're 9-0 in one game scores at this season. So they was able to hand the ball off to Cook a lot. They was able to hand the ball off to Wes Madison, the other running back.
He did some weird end zone celebration, yeah.
But those two, that's a dynamic duo. And, of course, you have Justin Jefferson, one of the most prolific receivers in the game, arguably number 1 on a lot of people's lists. But up next, they got coming up. They got the Lions, and like I said, that's on upset alert. The Lions have been looking hot. They're trying to play spoiler. They're trying to play Cinderella. The 12 o'clock midnight guys, Jamal Williams. We already said St. Brown, Jared Goff. So watch out for that one this week. Then they got Jeff Saturday's Colts. They got the Giants. So I've been saying this is the part of the season where the Minnesota Vikings really have to watch out and really show up to make it seem, nobody believes in them guys but Jared. And they have to really start putting on, and even watch out for the game after that in the Green Bay Packers. But right now, they're at number 3 on my list. At number 2, and it was kind of hard for me at this point, number 2, number 1, you can really go 1A, 1B. But at number 2, I did go ahead and go with the Philadelphia Eagles, just simply on the fact of at number 1, USC was number 1, and obviously you can guess it. But at number 2, they've really been just running all over people. And they outgained the Tennessee Titans by almost 250 yards. They was led by A.J. Brown. He had 119, 2 touchdowns. And Jalen Hurts is starting to look like he may be an MVP front runner right behind probably, I would say, Patrick Mahomes. Joe B is going to be somewhere on that top 5. And throw a couple other names on there, but I believe that they're a force to be reckoned with in that NFC. And I'm really looking forward to that Christmas Eve matchup between them and the Cowboys. But up next, they got the Giants, which is another NFC East team. They got the Bears coming up. Justin Fields, you got to watch out for him. And like I said, that Christmas Eve matchup between the Cowboys in Jerry's world. And right in Jerry's world, that's where we're going to bring in the number 1. Gross. I've never thought I would think that Dallas Cowboys, but at this certain time, at this moment, that defense is holding so strong, man. And not only just a defense, when the defense got the ball back to the offense, they was able to make big plays. Tony Pollard, you see the speed in him, you see the power in Zeke, you see the arm and Dak and the connection with CeeDee Lamb and Gallup. It's a lot going on in that team right now. 33 unanswered points in the last 15 minutes of that game, and that's the reason that they prevailed, and that's the reason that they're number 1 on my list. So go ahead, do what you got to do, man. Like I say, chop it up, screw it up, and spit it out.
Man. All right. First of all,
That's disgusting.
you ain't gave the New York Jets. They play in New Jersey. Don't even play in New York. Yep. You ain't been giving the Jets respect all year, but them almost quote unquote beating the Vikings is good enough to get them in the top 10.
It's a good team, man.
Now it's a good team. When I was actually caping for them to get in your top 10, you wouldn't even sneeze at them. But now because they played the 10-2 Vikings, 9-2, now 10-2 Vikings close. Man.
They almost got the win, man.
A lot of people almost got the win. But guess what? You didn't. We swept the whole AFC East, by the way. You got a lot of them in your top 10.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that means nothing, I guess. But, I got Seattle at 10. I don't got the Jets in the top 10. I'm sorry. I still like what Geno was doing. He's still not writing people back and still balling. I agree with you there. I'll keep Baltimore at 9. Keep Miami at 8. Sorry, Brock Purdy, but I dropped San Francisco 7, not 6. Bills, you got to put a little bit more respect on the Bills. They are everybody's favorites, rightfully so. The Vikings beat them too. But 6, not 7, in Buffalo. in overtime with
Biggest
the greatest
win of their
catch.
season.
Yeah, biggest win of their season, and we still get no respect because we lost to Dallas ugly the next week.
Respectable.
Whatever. It is what it is. We'll see them teams again soon. But we're not even at my Vikings yet. But nah, 6, not 7, man. The Bills, they're still a legit team. They're still very super. They're just high power, high octane. And if it's close, you could beat them. But if they get the front run and get it ahead, you get Stephon Diggs over there talking trash to the crowd, it's hard to beat the Bills. Cincinnati, I know, is a big, big win. They still don't lead their division yet. I guess it's power rankings, not standings. And, Lamar did just get hurt, so y'all still got time to leap them maybe. But I'll keep them at 5 even after that solid win. KC is still 9-3, and Patrick Mahomes is still looking like the MVP even though he lost that game. So I still got them at 4, not 5. And I'm with you at the top 3. Philly, Dallas, Minnesota. I'm not even going to jump my boys up against them because, they did beat us. And between them 2 losses, those is the biggest losses on our schedule and also the only losses on our schedule. So I agree with you there.
I see in the chat Matt Manning, he talking about OBJ. They came out earlier today saying that OBJ, his injuries is looking too significant and they won't see him back until mid-January. So it won't look – I don't know if they are going to sign him, if they're not going to sign him.
He's
It's still
not
up in the
playing.
air, but they saying his injury – it's going to keep him off of the field until mid-January, which possibly, according to my list, Cowboys can still be playing.
Yeah, but I don't think he'll have any impact, and he won't be able to play by then. That'd be playoff time. It'd be too serious. He can't just dive straight into the playoffs.
I think you can put him in as I don't even want to call him a decoy, but just one extra bullet in the chamber for Dak Prescott. If he's needed – 1-2 plays, they call it load management, but I think if he gets in, he's healthy enough at this point, but I think they don't want to see him re-aggravate that and give him too many minutes, re-aggravate that injury, so they're going to try to keep him out. But
Too much pressure. What Odell wants, he definitely just want to get paid, know that he's going to be able to play somewhere next year and possibly a year or 2 after that. He's looking to settle down. He just had a newborn son, I believe. So he's trying to, find the right mode. I don't think he's going to play this year at all because if he's going to play for any playoff team and your first reps will be the playoffs, he could mess around and get hurt again. When Godwin came back from his ACL, he got hurt, dinged up, and he's been battling injuries. And he's just now getting back and looking somewhat decent, but the Bucs are still struggling. Who else is somebody that came back early from injury and looked ugly? Akers? He kind of looked good last year in the playoffs, but, I don't know. I really don't think OBJ is going to be playing this year no matter who he signs with.
Agree. All right, Will. Dallas, they just beat the Colts. The Colts are 4-8. The Giants are 7-4, and the Vikings are 10-2. They lose to the Packers, who are 5-8. They beat the Bears, who are 5-10. They beat the Lions, who are 5-7. They lose to the Eagles. They beat the Rams, who are below 500. They beat the Commanders, who are below 500. They beat the Giants. They beat the Bengals. The Bucs are below 500. Got a bunch of crap wins.
Yeah, they literally haven't played nobody. But
that's why I got beef. I got beef with the Cowboys being 1. It's got to be the Feagles all the way. Dallas is trash, man.
Oh, you had Dallas on 1? I didn't even peep
They
that.
just riding some weak. They just big point wins. Also, their next 2 games are Houston and Jacksonville. So I think that's just an inflated too many points against bad teams, too many easy wins. But that's just my 2 cents.
I'm with you there,
You
buddy.
do your thing.
the annihilation of teams when you we've been
I get
coining
it.
it,
I
playing with
gotcha.
your food, and when you can just go ahead and demolish a team, just go and take care of business.
Nom, 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 nom.
Exactly.
But they didn't technically they didn't. It was a hard fought game all the way up until Matt Ryan started making mistakes in the fourth.
Defense takes over the game.
Yep. All right, you got it there. Dude, defense wins ships. That's why Niners are the best team in the league.
I think they
Put it to
definitely
rest.
They definitely gonna fold. You know, when it comes playoff time,
will see.
The final two teams standing in the NFC will be Minnesota,
And we'll find out in
Philly.
in
We'll
3
see how that
weeks.
comes out.
Philadelphia at
Christmas
Dallas.
Eve.
Christmas Eve. That'll
Christmas
be a big
gonna come
one.
early.
All right, there's Will's hot top 10. We're going to step aside for just a minute.
Injuries suck.
On
I
the
agree with you
Yamo
there.
Media Network. We'll be right back with That's Debatable. We'll finish with some Week 14, Team USA, NBA, and all those things. Sit tight. We'll be right back.
Hello, I am Amy J. Ross Womack, the Executive Director of the Ohio Sickle Cell and Health Association, and I'm here to talk to the parents and student athletes about a very important topic. The NCAA has instituted different standards for all divisions of student athletes. Before you can play sports in any college or university, you must present a negative trait status or hemoglobin status documentation. Your hemoglobin status is taken at birth with the newborn screening. And what they do is they run your blood for any abnormality or any birth defect. There are thousands of newborn screening birth defects in this country. For more information about sickle cell disease, sickle cell trait testing, you can call our offices at 614-228-0157. Or you can visit us via web at ohiosicklecell.org.
Welcome back to That's Debatable. What, Colorado will be a playoff team in 2 years, is that what you said?
That's the 12-team
debatable.
playoff? Yeah.
All right, one quick note. Saturday, December 17th, right here on the Yamo Media Network. It's the Battle in the 614, the girls showcase. A very good showcase of high school talent here in the area, and we will be broadcasting that live on the Yamo Media Network. If you would like to purchase a viewing pass for all of those 8 games, you can go to yamomedia.com/battleinthe614, and that'll get you a pass to watch all of those games Saturday, December 17th. It'll be high-quality basketball all day long. You can also just go. It's right here at ODU here in Columbus. Go out and support your local girls' hoops. All right. During break, we were talking about the college football playoffs. We already talked about the 4-team playoff, which is what it is for the next 2 years, right? But I did see some interesting things about the 12-team playoff. So in 2024, we should have a 12-team playoff. This is what it would look like if it were to happen this year. You can see it right there from the Action Network. Odds provided by Colin Wilson. Tennessee, K-State. Yeah, there we go. Leave that. Ohio State, Penn State. Interesting. USC, Alabama. Your 4 teams with the bye. So interesting. Tulane at number 12, man. Tulane, TCU. That's awesome. I can't wait until we're there.
I like the 3.
I like the 4 play, and this would just be who he's got him as. This would be this guy's rankings. So.
Don't like that. He's predicting Buckeyes at 6. It's just I don't like that.
After putting this up, it doesn't look like it's this year, so we're gonna pull it down.
That just looks like
I tried.
Maybe it was earlier. I thought I had one in the anyway. That was from last year. Is that what I had?
Yeah. Trash.
Well, anyway.
Oh, okay, then us being 6 makes sense.
Okay, moving on. NFL Week 14. Starts Thursday night. Raiders and the Los Angeles Rams. Baker Mayfield was just picked up by the Rams off a waiver wire, right?
That's your boy right there.
Stay up on the waiver wire.
Mr. Plenty Flag himself.
Yeah, I think I explained that last week. Nah, man, another snooze fest. Is he even going to play? I seen this picture. Like, I don't know. Raiders, go ahead, DA. Do your thing.
Hey, DA's been balling the last couple of weeks. I don't know what's been going on with the Raiders, but they finally done turned it on. Josh Jacobs is looking good. Adams is finally stepping up. Carr is finally getting in touch with him. But
ever since they cried, I think he's been undefeated.
Hey, real men cry, dog.
Yeah, not off the podium, but it worked. They felt it, and they've been winning since. And off the back of Jacobs and on the hands of Adams. So they've been making plays. And Crosby been getting that defense right, too. He's been getting sacks dang near every week. But it should be a blowout. I don't think it'll be a good game. Another snooze fest Thursday night. What we got? The Battle of Ohio. Are y'all going to right the wrongs? Like, y'all own Patrick Mahomes, but get owned by the Browns?
Yeah, it's a plot twist that nobody can figure out. It's one of those like Key and Peele type of movies. It's kind of hard to figure it out. You got to keep on thinking about it. And just don't resonate until you got to see the sequel. And this right here is the sequel, man. A lot of those Browns fans was all talk, big bark and all that. Hey, man, put up or shut up. Deshaun, come on down, man. We got one of Mr. Kraft's homies down by the bay. You know, come on and see us. But it's really going to be a good battle. Should be able to shut those guys down. It just gotta happen. You just gotta play the game. It's nothing to be said. It's nothing to talk about.
Stop thinking. Just shut it down and go. Because that's one of those. They got the Chiefs number, ain't got the Browns number, which is backwards. Also, to interject, that graphic was right. I figured out why it would have Ohio State at 6 is because it's got the first 4 would be
the champions.
The champions from.
Okay.
So Georgia's the SEC champ, Clemson the ACC, Michigan the Big Ten, Utah the Pac-12. And then it goes down to your next ranking with TCU, K-State, Alabama. So that's where that is as your conference champs getting in there. So, yeah, you're all good. So that's just a fun little game we like to play. I saw the same graphic from Fox College Football, so Action Network right on it as well.
Those lower tier teams.
So that's where that
Penn
goes.
State and Tulane.
Dude, right?
I'm trying to figure out how you even got them in there.
Now, Tulane's really ranked 12.
Yeah, dude. Tulane is good. Got to stay up on
their quarterback's about to transfer.
In their light blue, their baby blue unis, they look nice.
Their quarterback's about to transfer. I forgot where to, though. Might be Colorado.
They do. He's taking the crew with him. All right, back to week 14.
Yeah, he's bringing luggage, he said.
The other note with that is, fantasy playoff start. This is the final week. I need, in one of my leagues, I need a dude to lose. That way I can sneak into the bye week. Don't want to deal with that business. Just secure it if I can. That'll help us choose our Superman capes. You got that dude on your roster. You need to go ham. Pittsburgh, Baltimore coming up. It's the first game I peek at. Man, Pittsburgh on the rise, Baltimore on the downturn. You never know. It's why when I saw you got Baltimore at 9, it just they keep barely winning. But, man, that team does not look good.
Yeah, something about Baltimore, and I believe Pittsburgh may be it. I mean, I know what you about to say. Kenny freaking Pickett, he's phenomenal. But I think it's at this moment where Baltimore may finally end that barely getting by win streak. But one game, I don't know if you said it yet, but that Jets against Buffalo, that's a nice matchup right there, right?
That's that nice.
Yeah, I've checked both teams, crossed off one. I got Buffalo now.
I left it blank.
That's what I did too. And then I went ahead and said Jets, and I was like, nah. That game, I don't know, Jets coming off of 2 losses in a row. Buffalo still got a point to prove, so I'm going to still go with Buffalo, but that should be a good game. It was a good game the last time.
Buffalo's 9.5-point favorite.
Vegas is wrong with that stuff a lot, man.
Vegas is always right, dude.
No, they're not.
Says the man who doesn't bet.
I bet.
All right, Feagles, Giants. What else we got? And it's kind of a lackluster week 14. Derrick Henry's going to stomp all over the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Is he, though? He's going to shut down these past 2 weeks.
Nah, he feasts on the Jags, D. That's like the Browns feasting on the Bengals. Derrick Henry eats the Jags, D.
Try to throw that in. The level of disrespect is getting pretty high,
Nick Chubb is your kryptonite. I'm just saying. It's crazy, though. Maybe y'all can stop Derrick Henry. You can't stop Nick.
Hey, we're talking about week 13 or 14 right now. And
y'all got Nick this week.
I know.
It's relevant.
We've passed that section. Go ahead.
Tampa Bay, San Fran. I'm excited for that. San Fran should be able to take care of business, man. You just never know. Those Bucks coming in, low scoring.
Giants going to get the upset this week.
You think they're going to beat the Eagles?
Man, somebody got to.
Dude, Philadelphia looks good.
Saquon, man, we need Saquon to show up, show out. I might have the cake for him. I might have
Sunday night, Miami and the Chargers. Yeah.
That's decent.
A little bit of flash. We'll see what the Chargers can pull together.
That coach sucks, bro.
Up, man.
That's true too, but that coach sucks.
Brandon Staley?
If they should have kept Anthony Lynn, gave Anthony Lynn a chance because he was doing solid with Phillip Rivers before they went ahead and got Justin Herbert. I think if they would have gave Anthony Lynn a chance with this team, he could have definitely got that right. And he's an offensive minded coach. He was a running back in the league, so you know how they do.
All right, Sunday night, Miami Chargers. Then next Monday night, New England at Arizona.
Quick question, though. So what you really think that the Detroit Lions is going to beat us?
The Detroit Lions, their offense has really been rolling for the last couple of weeks. I mean,
and at home, they're specifically good at home.
NFC North divisional game. I don't see why they cannot get y'all. I mean, you got Aiden Hutchinson coming off of the end. We see how you guys bowled against a defense in Dallas.
I mean, we played other great defenses and came out on top.
Yeah. The Lions
Like the
defense
Jets,
ain't that great.
For instance.
Let's see what the over-under is.
It was a close game against the Jets, though. And I think right now, like I said, Detroit's been riding high.
He literally
Your
played
bowler of the
nothing but
week
close
was
games.
awesome, Ra. Amon-Ra.
Awesome Ra.
Yeah,
Whatever
awesome
his name
Ra.
is.
He's awesome,
Yeah,
though.
dude,
I'll give you that, bro.
Amon Ra is awesome, Ra.
St. Brown, Mr. St. Brown.
I like that.
Whatever his name is, he's not his brother over there. He's right here in Detroit. And like I said, Jamal Williams, Swift, they both been battling back. And you can get the Williams kid who's finally about to come off of the injury reserve. He's finally about to make his debut. So, hey, man, mark it down. This is the upset of the week.
There you go.
It's not an upset because they got them favored. So actually, if we win, it's an upset, which is ridiculous because we're 10-2. Like, quit disrespecting my team.
Why doesn't anybody respect him?
Because of our quarterback.
You don't have the answer, Baze.
I just answered your question.
Slamming.
It's literally because of Kirk Cousins. That's the only answer. We got everything. We literally got everything you would like.
Why does nobody have faith in Kirk Cousins?
I don't know.
Past history.
With the team that doesn't exist anymore?
But it still comes into his fact. Like, he played those games.
Because
His
last
stats
year,
still add up.
Last year he balled out.
He just ain't got it done.
He balled out last year, and the defense, these close games that we're losing this year, he put us in the position to win those games last year, but the defense lost the games on the last 2 minutes of the possession. If they could have kept the lead in the last 2 minutes, we had that same 9-0 close record list last year that we got this year. The last 2 years, the previous 2 years, the Vikings has actually been in these close games, have been losing them. Except for this year, because Kevin O'Connell came in and changed everything. Because we literally got the best wide receiver in the game, one of the top running backs in the game.
You guys are winning the one-score games.
We're winning the one-score games. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to finish the blowout because we was on the verge of blowing out the Jets. Then what? We take the foot off the gas. It's not that we play with the food. They just got little moments here and there. It just defense is a great defense, and everything that we got, we worked for. JJ earned every catch. He didn't have the big stat game, but he did what he had to do. Took the big hits, made the big catch, made the big plays.
You will get respect from the NFL when you win the big games, when it counts, and when it counts is the playoffs.
We got to get
season,
there.
exactly.
But the last time, they always forget the last time Kirk was in the playoffs. He actually did win a playoff game on the road in the house of New Orleans before they lost to the.
Well, there's one.
Aaron Rodgers also lost to the Niners. I mean, we only made the playoffs once since he's been there. That's the problem. That's why Mike Zimmer is now following Dion down to Colorado because he's gone. Shout out Kevin O'Connell.
You want to put on the dog mask
because we underdogs.
You know, like the Philly team.
We are the 2017
it was at
Philly.
Some point where I remember
they
team
never
that went into
Nick
Seattle,
Foles.
like New Orleans, and it was the beast mode, the run we heard around the world, where you had an underdog team and a team that was supposed to be this big bad team, they get knocked off. That's what I'm seeing from you guys.
We're not the big bad team though. How are we the big bad team when we're not even viewed?
The record is presumably, so great.
But they're not. Nobody, none of the odds makers believe in the record or the team. So we're literally the underdog. We're not front runners. Dallas is front runners.
Here's the thing. You should embrace this. You should enjoy being counted out because you have won every game all season when you've been counted out. So you should embrace the underdog. Ain't no respect because the Vikings wear it well, and they're actually showing up and winning.
I'm getting an underdog mask, and I'm going to be wearing it from here on out until we win the Super Bowl this year.
There you go.
Because I really like watch, bro.
You're going to cape for the Vikings when we get there?
I'm in every playoff game. That's what I'm going to put on my Vikings cape.
If anybody's in the chats, holla at me with your fantasy capes, who you need on your squads to show up and do some winning. Because that's what it's about. We have not talked enough fantasy football on this show. But it's okay.
I'm hurting, man.
I know, right?
I'm hurting bad. I just looked down. You talk about fantasy. I mean, I got my quarterbacks, which is Lamar Jackson, and then my other quarterback is Justin Fields, and I just see now Justin Fields is going to be on the bye week. So I'm hurting right now.
Ouch. Dude, yeah, that's also week 14 bye. Come on. Like, that's way too, I understand late, but you got 6 fucking teams: Atlanta, Chicago, Green Bay, Indy, New Orleans, and Washington. all on bye in Week 14.
Last bye week of the season, by
That's
the way.
beneficial for them. They get some good late things, but
None of these teams are doing anything in none of the majority of them aren't playoff teams anyway, outside of Washington, and that's debatable.
Yep.
Everybody else is literally
it'll help
trash.
It'll help them in the hunt. So
Hopefully
anyway.
the Packers can decide what they're going to do with Aaron Rodgers on this week.
All right.
But
Cape for me.
Oh yeah, but also the Vikings will win because the Vikings will win the NFC North with a dub that game, and the Lions lost.
I think the Lions are going to also win.
Yeah, you guys are
in
nuts.
a one-score game.
Yeah, right.
All right,
like last year.
Who you caping for? I'll put my cape on. God dang. Can I put a cape on for Brandon's team in my fantasy league? Because I need him to beat Nate. He's got it at the bottom. My Superman cape. You got. All right, I'm going to go for my guys right here. Brock Purdy. Make it Purdy this weekend. You got Tampa Bay coming into the house. The defense looked good, I guess, against the the Saints. Saints ain't got much offense. But Brock Purdy, I need you to get it done against Tampa Bay next weekend. And if that just means you need to hand the ball off really well a bunch to Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Mason and Debo, then just do that, and that's fine. And on the other side, defenses do your thing. But San Fran, Mr. Brock Purdy, it's always important. Don't turn the ball over. That's what I'm putting my cape on for, my guy. Because it's important that Seattle getting that win. It's still a tight race in the NFC West. They got to stay. They got to keep winning because that'll be important if they can win that division. So that's what I'm caping for.
What you got, Little Red?
And Brandon Foster to beat Nate.
Trying to think. Should I cape for my guy or should I cape for my motives? Caping for my motives, I failed. Caping for my motives, I failed for the past few weeks.
Because you keep trying to go against the Eagles, man. It's not really.
Praying on their downfall.
Yeah,
I need to cape for Saquon Barkley.
Ooh, do that.
Danny Fumbles, Danny Dimes. Should I cape for them?
Don't do it, man.
Or should I cape for my guy Kenny freaking Pickett? Gino. I know who.
Think long, think wrong, my guy.
Nice.
I'll put on my cape for Deshaun Watson.
All right.
And the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun, 700 days, knocked your rust off. You know, once you get to knock off that first load, you get to have another one. So this week, don't come in. Baker ain't lose to this team. Jacoby ain't lose to this team. They riding hot. Everybody loves them. They just beat the big bad Patty Mac and they own them. That's 3 straight times in the calendar year of 2022. Nobody has done it. So Deshaun Watson, don't come in and stick up the joint. Go ahead and get the job done. I'm putting on my cape for D. Watson and the Bulls in Cleveland.
All right.
Child, please.
Like it.
I will cape for Nick Chubb, but he's probably already going to do his thing.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, that interior defense, man, of BJ Hill, DJ Reader, Sam Hubbard, Trey Hendrickson, Logan Wilson, Pruitt, man, those guys need to step up, but that's what I'm putting my cape on for. I'm putting my cape on for Kenny freaking Pickett, man, for y'all to show up. Since you ain't going to do it, I'm going to do it. I don't know where you at with your Kenny Pickett train, but I'm jumping on just for, just to see what it's looking around like there. Mike Tomlin, go ahead and hold it down. Do what you're supposed to do.
Caping for motive.
Motives, baby. We talking about playoffs. We talking about seeding coming up. I mean, if you ain't never had a time, you don't have Lamar Jackson, so the defensive coordinator should get a couple more hours of sleep this week. But, hey, Pittsburgh is now or never for y'all, man. You will never hear me say it again that I'm caping for y'all. But you got to get it done.
So you caping for the Steelers or Kenny himself?
I would say more the Steelers, but Kenny's been doing what Kenny does.
He's been balling.
I can't say that, but
he
has.
All right. he looked good in the loss against y'all.
Doing okay.
Squiller fans, Squiller Nation, show up. One time I'm asking for y'all to show up.
Yeah, Will needs it for the AFC North. Will needs
yes,
it.
Yes, sir.
Maybe
all right.
We ain't got to rush for that. We're just going to go ahead and handle our business and go ahead and get the North Championship in Detroit this year. Go ahead and sell it. We couldn't. I forgot who they just beat. Detroit just smoked Jacksonville, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! And I was picking Jacksonville for Modas last week.
Jacksonville beat Baltimore.
Yeah.
It's a crazy world
defense,
we live in.
Again, every loss has really been on the defense.
All right,
but, yeah, I'm with
Cincinnati
you there.
hold me down.
You need it.
Let's go, Cleveland.
Okay. Kind of a lackluster week 14. Tune in for that. Dallas, the biggest point spread favorite at -17 over the Houston Texans. We are going to keep this train rolling. We got, a short 10 minutes left here in the show tonight. Thank you for tuning in. We love y'all.
Appreciate it.
We're going to talk about Team
TD Live Hive. What we going to call them?
What?
You remember you said we got to have names for our debatable fans. The TD Live Hive?
Live Hive. Come up with something.
We'll come up with something. Oh, man, my cape stuff.
Sean, you just tuned in, man, but I had to put my cape on. That was our segment. What we going to cape for? Which team we need? That's why my man Little Red Riding Hood over here has his cape on still.
He was caping for Team USA, man.
Hey,
now you got to take it off because they done. Last Saturday, Team USA, they did advance out of the group play in the World Cup. We're talking soccer, folks. It's been awesome, actually. Got on the gym, and if you like to bet, it's nice too. Team USA went down to the Netherlands last Saturday. They are knocked out. I think the final 16, or the quarterfinals, are coming alive. Today there was a huge upset. Morocco beat Spain in penalty kicks, 3-0. Morocco was a big underdog. So surprised Spain there. And Portugal advances over Switzerland. There's some questions around Ronaldo, the greatest player one of the greatest players in the world. Croatia advanced yesterday. Brazil is doing their thing. Brazil's the odds-on favorite for those who don't know. Brazil. And then you'll get England and France in a quarterfinal matchup, which will be nice. Yeah, there's the bracket there. So England and France, the top right. Portugal and Morocco on the bottom right. And then the left side of the bracket, you've got the Netherlands and Argentina, and then Brazil and Croatia. So that'll continue, I think, on Friday. We've got a couple-day break until the World Cup gets back in action. But Team USA had a little bit of excitement, at least for a couple of days. Yeah, so we'll see if they can get their stuff together for in a few years anyway.
When they get a little, I'm hearing one of our problems is not that we lack talent, but we're young, and this is a veterans game right now. So as they get a little bit older, they should be able to propel into what we want to see here. So maybe it'll work. So you got the basketball scores up. Cavs went ahead and ran off on the Lakers.
Dude, Cavs are up on the Lakers as we jump into NBA Week 8.
Man, spoil LeBron's home.
Cavs are up 15.
Oh, no, this Cavs team ain't messing.
Lakers at home.
Cavs team ain't playing,
Cavs are only a 4-point favorite. They're covering that.
Spider for real.
To play.
I got some hockey notes, too. Since I got the Avs jersey on, it's hockey season. Figured I represent my Stanley Cup champions while they're in the middle of the pack in the West. But anyway, NBA's happening. Jer, we got a Week 8 update. Anything going on? You said AD's been trouncing. What's he doing?
He's on a tear, averaging like 34, 15, and a lot of blocks. I know he outperformed Giannis in a big game. Giannis did ball out, but the Lakers came out on top in a huge game. He had like 44. One of the games he just put up 54 recently.
Yep, saw that.
Yeah, AD's been on a tear. The Lakers, I don't know if he's doing tonight. I mean,
they're on a 3-game win streak.
Yeah, I mean it's about to be over. Yep. But they're on a road. I think a 5-game road trip right now. Go ahead and just starting it off with an L, but I'm sure they'll try to bounce back. This week, Jared's level's not updated, so I don't even think I put it in the group. In the drive.
We'll update next week.
Look at it, but it's looking like the Lakers, they've been in wake up for a while, and it looked like they finally woke up. If they could keep this up by the time I put this together next Sunday, Monday night, we'll see where the Lakers are. They're like 2 games below 500, about to be back 3, I believe. Or are they already 9-12? Are they already 9-12? You see their record?
Lakers are 10-12.
10-12. Okay, so they got that dub last night. That's right. So they'd be 10-13, 3 games below 500, but hopefully maybe they'll be somewhere,
creeping up, man.
And don't sleep on them, because if you sleep on them, they're finding their roles. They still can't shoot jump shots, but they're playing a better defense. And if they're just building that team chemistry, team camaraderie, LeBron is still, he's doing good. He's about his birthday coming up soon. He's about to be the big 38. He's still doing his thing. The key to that is Russ accepting his role. And if he could get you 15 assists, and he's going to turn it over no matter what. But if he could keep it around 6, I guess, then, it's something.
Western Conference. New Orleans Pelicans are 15-8. They're in second place. They won 4 straight. 8-2 in their last 10.
Brandon Ingram is out, I believe. He's on one of my fantasy teams. They need him back. But Zion is just, he's a marvel. He's
Zion doing his thing. And fill me in on my Nuggets. They're 14-9, 4th place in the West. They got Dallas tonight.
Michael Porter Jr.
Just
still
they're
hurt.
just hanging around the middle of the pack.
You know, they're just. I mean, I've always thought they was a middle of the pack team, even with the MVP. But they're just, right now. My man Jamal still trying to find himself to where he's supposed to be. 2-1 on this road trip, losing tonight. Okay, 2-1 on the road trip. Shout out Rico for the info. Going off the top here, buddy. I'm not really a big Laker fan, you know that. But nah, your Nuggets. Jamal Murray's trying to, he's getting back into his own. It was really Michael Porter Jr. Shout out Bruce Brown though. He's the sleeper on that team. Consistent dog. I wish the Nets would have kind of kept him. But Bruce Brown is a nice little dog, a little person you can have in your foxhole. Not afraid to guard the biggest man or the smallest man.
Nice.
It don't matter. And he can hit the open three. He's not afraid to take it to the hole, and he got a nice little floater when it's falling. But they're waiting for Jamal Murray to actually get into that role, and Michael Porter Jr. got to get back healthy.
All right. There we go. The only other thing I'm going to add, hockey, like I said.
Might be a fire sale in Chicago.
Ooh, they looking bad?
Yeah, they might consider tanking. Oh, my goodness. And this run that AD's on, well, he's not about to be a bull anytime soon.
Bulls are 3-7 in their last 10.
Yeah.
14 out of the playoffs. All right, I'm going to end it with hockey since I got it on. Avs are 8th in the Western Conference right now, 27 points. They're 13-9-1. But keeping it local as we do, the Columbus Blue Jackets are dead last in the Eastern Conference. They're 8-13-2, 18 points.
They small, man.
It is rough going for the Blue Jackets. They've been on a little heater lately. They've had a couple wins here and there. They're looking to get it done against the Penguins tonight. But it's a long season. You never know. We'll keep plugging the hockey and keep our eye on the Blue Jackets.
What's my Lightning doing?
For all of you at home, thank you for tuning in. I don't know how the Lightning are doing.
Got any Bruins news?
The Bruins are in first place in the Eastern Conference.
Not those Bruins, the Ohio Bruins.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Boston Bruins are first in the Eastern Conference, if anybody cares. More importantly, the Ohio Bruins, the voice of the Ohio Bruins is me, Ryan Dietrich, my guy DJ Minton on color. We were in the building on Sunday as the Ohio Bruins took care of the Akron Aviators 142-120. We do those up at Northside Christian High School. So if you are in Columbus, Ohio, Saturday, December 10th, 4 p.m., the Ohio Bruins taking on the Akron Kings, I believe. I'm on the call. Will's joining me, 4 p.m. Saturday at the Cave, Northside Christian High School. Here's some highlights. We'll let this clip take us out. This is just some highlights from the game last Sunday. Like I said, the Bruins got the dub, but there's some high-level talent on these teams. International players, former college players, guys just out of college, some local kids, some international talent, like I said. But it's some pretty good ball, and it's a good time. You can catch those on the Yamo Media Sports Network. You can also just come up to Northside Christian High School. It's up in Westerville. Bruins are doing good. They're back at 500, 3-3. Looking to win on Saturday, and that's all I got. So, for that, That's Debatable. Ryan Dietrich, Jeremiah Bays, Will Ward, and Adam Dell behind the desk as always. Big shout out. Catch us next week, next Tuesday, same time, same place.